Enough is enough! I have had it!
Why so serious?
And we hold the world ransom for... Excuse me while I whip this out.
Show me.
Live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's February the 11th. The Sports Jock Show is live. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and we have a great show for you today. We're going to talk about a little smoking weed.
Hello? Good morning. Did someone say something?
National Signing Day last week. I might even let the bad producer tell us what's going on in the world of golf.
No.
Don't do that. That's a bad mistake.
No.
I'm here with my peeps. The funny man himself, Big Kenny.
Buenos dias, Sports Jock. Es Los Monday.
It's Los Monday. I don't know any more Spanish. And we have the tall lady in the building as well.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning to you. Sit back, NFL. We're going to talk about that. Jay Cutler. Shame on you. Cut the music. I like to just start off with a thank you. Thank you, J-Lo, for that thigh. Thank you for that. That was very...
Like a piece of chicken thigh, like y'all was out sharing about chicken, and she let you get the thigh, or like the thigh attached to her hip.
It was the thigh connected to the knee bone,
connected to the hip bone,
and
connected to the cucaracha.
I forgot the rest of the story.
Connected to the meat bone. That's as long as it's attached to the meat bone. Yeah.
The Grammys last night, the Sports Jock did take in some of the Grammys. I don't know what Jack White, whatever you're on. Wiz Khalifa, whatever you're on, call me when y'all get a business plan together. I'm quite sure it's going to sell well. Grammys, it was okay a little bit. I think I saw Eli and Peyton in the audience. I don't know what they would be doing there, but they were there.
Why not?
Why not?
They're not preparing for football, so I mean.
But the Grammys, 55th Grammys last night, LL even got up at the end and let everybody see what steroids can do for you. LL Cool J. But welcome to the Sports Jock Show. My breakfast finally arrived. We're going to have an episode, where we're going to talk about being on time, but not today.
We have so many other issues to address.
Now, let's start off with something that, because I brought up the Grammys to bring up another story. The Grammys, CBS had a mandate, and that's why I applauded J-Lo for her thigh being out, not just because it was a beautiful thigh, but because, they had a mandate from CBS that the women this year could not expose themselves in certain ways. Now, during the Grammys, if you were watching, there a commercial came on with this beautiful tan body on the beach. She had on a two-piece bikini, and she was promoting something. I could never get around to what she was promoting because I was watching the commercial, and about halfway into the commercial, she undid her bikini top, and she laid down on the beach. At the end, they promoted that it was a fish sandwich, and it was Hardee's once again. And, come on, Hardee's. They're making me feel like you don't need sexual enhancement. Just go to Hardee's. I don't know what this lady being on the beach, sunbathing, topless, had to do with their new cod spiced fish, which I don't ever think I want to get my fish from Hardee's.
Not at all.
Big Kenny Tall Lace. I don't know if y'all have seen this commercial.
No,
but if you,
but somebody who used to distribute porn is doing the advertising for Hardee's now, because every single advertisement that they put out on television is wrought with sexual, I mean, over the top. It's not even implied anymore. It's women kissing and fondling each other, and
then
standing there.
she sticks her finger with some of the
sauce in
tartar sauce
in her mouth.
And I don't know what that had to do with the codfish.
I mean, and just the fact that she would eat a sandwich on the beach is pretty concerning to me. I mean, you know,
not fresh
yeah,
fish.
she's laying all down, and you're going to get some sand on that sandwich, and it's really not going to be
I
that
want
good.
processed fish
but I just
at
had
Hardee's.
to, you know, so CBS
I'm on the beach if
it's
I get
funny,
processed.
It's funny that you're mandating cover up on the Grammy, but you're showing commercials that is filled with take your clothes off and
What about
have
the family jewels? The jewels.
The family jewels.
The CBS prostate cancer awareness commercial.
I missed that.
Yeah.
But you know that only comes on the tall ladies television. Some of this stuff isn't broadcast on regular TV or even on cable. It's just
jewels.
Now, if you go to her
the best
house,
thing you can get for your woman, your girlfriend at Valentine's Day,
it's family jewels.
is to take care of the jewels.
Of the family jewels, right. I'm telling you, if you go to her house, the screen is blank, but in her mind, it is running thousands of different exciting commercials and programs.
Well, sit back. 888-926-7562. I got the two producers, the funny man, Big Kenny, the tall lady, the sports jock. We're going to have a great show today. We'll be back right after this.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
The Sports Jock Show is giving you a chance to win, and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Jock.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjock.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Jock will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad, plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact, you haven't heard the Sports Jock Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th, so log on, sign up with the Sports Jock Wake-Up Call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjock.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Sassy! Sassy!
This week's episode, Rattlesnake at the Pond.
Oh, Johnny, skipping rocks at the pond sure is fun. Hey, look, a moving stick. That ain't a stick. That's a rattlesnake. Sassy, we're in danger. Good idea, Sassy. Go get Mr. Gunderson. You will in a second, but first you'd like to tell us something we may not know about animal shelters in the United States? It's getting close, Sassy! Approximately 8 million pets enter shelters each year? The majority of which are in shelters because of owner-related issues that the animals have no control over? Sassy the rattlesnake! Save us, Sassy! What, Sassy? You wish you were videotaping this? Sassy!
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. Last Wednesday, National Signing Day around the country. Very, very, very weird stories on recruiting day. It is becoming a big mess, basically, in this recruiting thing, and we only have ourselves to blame. I was recruited to go to, I actually signed on my birthday when I signed my letter to attend Auburn, my letter of intent. Back then, as a lot of you might know, and Big Kenny, I'm quite sure will make a joke, that what's with the candles and the
Happy birthday to you.
Oh.
Yeah!
Happy birthday to
you.
Take that. Happy birthday, dear sports jock. Oh. Happy birthday to
you. Of course.
Well, thank y'all very, very much. Just what I wanted. A box cake from Publix.
Because we only want the best for the sports
That's all the
jock.
sports jock is worth around here. $12.49 out of the Publix frozen
That's
food
about
section.
$16 over there.
Oh, that's 16 with the little
That's about 16.
How much they charge for the letters on it?
Well, we won't talk about that. That's complimentary.
Okay. Well, let me make a quick birthday wish. This is not the birthday segment, but I will make a birthday.
I was gonna say, will you take off the
wish.
big booty song? He's not wishing for big booties for his birthday.
That's what he wants for. I never met a man who want a big booty but only dates flat booty. I don't get it. But okay, I'll make a wish. I'm gonna take my headphones off so I don't catch on fire.
Oh man.
That's a lot of candles there, sports jock. Woo! Now the smoke detector's going off.
Hey, puff, give, man. Puff, give. Pass it on around.
Don't be teasing about puff, give. Don't do that.
Thank you there, sweetie.
Yeah.
The sports jock birthday. My birthday was yesterday. Since y'all invaded my segment on recruiting. And tall lady, Big Kenny, and for about 5 seconds. Well, we found out yesterday who has religion in their life. Tall lady, Big Kenny, myself. We found out that the good producer is a Seventh-day Adventist. He came in the church for like 7 seconds.
And when he tried to leave, looked real upset that these people were like, hold on until they finish speaking.
Right.
We don't want you to exit. He was like,
yeah, he came in there with a Nike sweatsuit on with fur on the car. I don't know where he was going. And then we found out that the bad producer is a Jehovah's Witness. He doesn't celebrate anything. So don't invite him to anything that you're
spiritual
having,
or
spiritual
religious.
or religious.
Yeah. But raunchy is all good.
Yeah, that's all he wants for his birthday. Well, back to the recruit.
The good producer was in there like, hey, is it okay if I speak to this Jesus guy about leaving? I really have some things to do. I mean, if everybody's here celebrating him, can I speak to him directly and we can get on with the rest of our day? I mean, man, come on. Come on. I mean, there's a lot of stuff to be done.
There's a lot of...
You people.
But he was at the buffet to eat, though. He showed up there talking about
He
egg white omelet with veggies or something, I tell you. But National Recruiting Day last week down in South Florida. I don't know if you two have read this story or not. Running back from South Plantation, which is not a real good name for a high school. South Plantation High.
Where the principal is Mr. Kingfisher.
Alex Collins had a problem signing his letter of intent. His mother decided to run up in the school and confiscate his letter of intent because she didn't want him to go to Arkansas. She wanted him to go to the University of Miami. What's so funny, since this story is broken, she has even went and got a lawyer to try to stop this action that this kid wants to go to Arkansas. I did get some background information on this story. I don't understand how the mom doesn't understand. The kid, Alex, one of his coaches went in high school, got hired at Wisconsin. So Alex actually first wanted to go to Wisconsin, where one of his coaches from high school was coaching. That familiarity, that's what people look for, especially in this kind of situation. That coach subsequently got hired at Arkansas this offseason. So Alex wants to go where this man is that he feels has helped him in his career. He wants to sign this letter of intent. He can't get his mom to sign off because you have to be 21. He's 18, but you have to be 21, so you need a parent to sign. I don't even know if my mom signed my letter of intent.
You just looked 21. You were just so big in high school, they just assumed you were a legal age.
So in this story, Alex's dad came out to the school and signed the letter of intent to go to Arkansas. But all this raises is how we talked a couple of shows, maybe I think in December, about the helicopter parent.
Right.
And the parent, you're not going to college. You're going to drive your son or put him on the bus or however you're going to get him there, fly him, and he's going to go to school, and that's where he's supposed to become a man. So I would think you would want to send him somewhere that he feels that is going to be happy for him.
Well,
now, I understand parents weigh in, but so there's a process where you can only go to visit a certain amount of schools. That is where the parent can weigh in a lot. But even in this, do you actually, Big Kenny, go to the school and take the letter of intent? I mean, didn't you wake up in the house with him that morning?
Was there ever an offer from Miami for a scholarship?
Yes.
Okay, so she feels like you chose the school that I didn't want you to go to.
Right.
Okay, because I was thinking if they didn't offer him a scholarship, that's pretty much a no-brainer. But, yeah, that's a little bit dramatic. That's histrionics. Who knows? She may be looking for football prospect moms or some sort of reality show.
Wow.
Well, the thing,
I mean, because that's way more, like you said, this is your child now. If you wanted to have this conversation, you could have done that at home.
You've had 2 months.
Yeah.
Since 2.5 months almost since the season.
You've had a lifetime basically up until this point.
18 years.
Right. Before you start signing, you at least had 2 months to know that this was coming up.
And parents, and we see this a lot now, how the parent seems to want to intervene into speaking for the child. Even with in the NBA, you see a lot of parents come out. Dwight Howard's dad, even this weekend, had some comments. What happened, just like we try to figure out the quiet wife, what happened to the quiet parent?
They were given that sense of entitlement by coaches who allowed them to speak, people asking their opinions, sitting on the sidelines, judging a lot of things and having their 2 cents, and nobody squashing that and telling them, look, calm down, we've got this, not really relating to a parent, their role. Parents think that they have the ultimate role.
Mm-hmm.
In the game. I've coached youth, and I would tell kids this is the first time or maybe the only time in your life, if you're on my team, that you can ignore your parents. If they tell you to shoot and you shoot that ball, you will not be playing on my court.
Right.
It will not happen. So I would tell them this is the opportunity to ignore your parents, do whatever I tell you to do. And my biggest thing is people would say, you know better, but they've never taught their children anything different. So parents have felt they had that right to intervene and say a lot of things. But I have a lot of opinion on this particular issue.
Right.
And
now,
it's not just in sports.
And just so you know,
it's not just sports.
Instead of signing on Wednesday, he had to go sign on Thursday. He had to delay the process a whole day. So he doesn't even have that. That's his memory of signing day, right. and you never know if this kid is going to go to the pros or not.
Right. But she took the papers.
That is a day that you do remember in your sporting career, and for it to be tarnished like that. And at this point, I'm reading that she's hired from the Cochran firm, Jack Parrish, to be her lawyer to, I guess, try to stop this. But Kenny, you was about to say something?
It's not just sports. They've been complaining in corporate America that parents are calling up supervisors saying that I don't think my child got the performance review that they deserve. You're not there with your child. So, I mean, it's actually getting that bad. But what is your motivation for wanting your child to go to Miami that vehemently? You know what I mean? Have they offered you some money?
Well, that's why
is this
the money bag.
Right.
And
is this a money bag
and
thing?
if the money bag has been transferred, why doesn't the boy know?
Well,
isn't there supposed to be a line of communication? Like, they bought you, but you forgot to tell him? How does that work?
I don't know. I on signing day, I've met parents who were saying things like, I wanted my child to be somewhere where they're accessible, where the family can come and watch the games if they are allowed to play, if they get that opportunity. Some families want to be able to watch the game. Maybe his mom, coming from South Florida, felt like she couldn't get to Arkansas. Who's going to make sure that she's able to continue to watch her son and to kind of maybe set that thing where she can't, he's not there to go down there and knock him upside the head. We don't really know what kind of kid this is, but it brings a lot of other things into question about their relationship as a family.
Well, that's where you have to take him off the titty.
Boy.
And let him go grow and be a man, and maybe you only catch a game or two. It's not about you, I think, is what is lost in this. It's about Alex and him going somewhere that he might feel like he can succeed.
What are the chances of getting an 18-year-old off a titty, though? I mean, come on, let's be realistic.
We'll be right back with more of the Sports Talk Show.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Honey, I'm home. I've got a surprise for you.
Get that filthy, disgusting tire out of my living room. You're on my favorite rug.
Calm down. You're going to love this.
What? The goldfish bowl.
I won't run over them. Relax.
You roll that tire right back out of here.
Relax. It's all part of my master plan to save us money.
This is not going to be our coffee table. Don't even think about putting a piece of glass on top.
No, honey. This is a reminder to keep our tires properly inflated so we can save money on gas.
Can't we just tie a string around our fingers?
Sweetie, properly inflated tires could save us more money at the pump than a week's worth of gas.
You're getting tire tracks on my love seat.
Exactly. To remind us that we love saving gas with properly inflated tires.
What's wrong with the sticky note on the dashboard?
Discover smarter ways to save hundreds of dollars on gas and help the environment, too, at the Alliance to Save Energy's website, drivesmarterchallenge.org.
Hey, let's put the sticky note on the tire.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Smart, father of a child who was abducted.
I'm John Walsh. Like Ed, I also know the terror of having a child who was kidnapped. But now we have wonderful technology to aid in this battle.
It's called the Amber Alert. It's an early notification system to the public when every second counts.
Amber Alert is a partnership. We want to thank you, the public, broadcasters, transportation, and law enforcement. Amber Alert really works.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
I've been trying to do it right.
Hey!
I've been living a lonely life.
Hey!
I've been sleeping here instead.
Hey!
I've been sleeping in my bed.
Hey!
Sleeping in my bed.
Hey! Ho! Hey!
So show me family.
Ho!
All the blood that I will bleed.
Hey!
I don't know where I belong.
Ho!
I don't know where I went wrong.
Hey!
But I can write a song. I belong to you.
You belong to me.
My sweet home.
I belong to you. You belong to me.
My sweet.
Hey! Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. When I first heard that song, I thought he was saying, hey, ho.
Hey, ho, you my sweetheart.
But he was saying, hey.
I don't think you're right.
And ho.
Oh, boy.
As we left, we were talking about Alex Collins
and his greedy mother.
And his mother, who might be on the tape. Andrea McDonald. She should have slapped him if she wanted to slap him. for wearing that camouflage suit to that press conference.
I didn't see.
He had a camouflage suit, two-piece suit with a camouflage tie. So I don't know what they're doing on that plantation.
But now you snatching paperwork. that's what your concern is. Your son's wearing camouflage clothing to a press conference, and you're snatching paperwork.
He might have been trying to dodge her.
And to answer your question, tall lady, when you were saying about guardianship, the NCAA said it would accept the signed letter of intent because Johnny Collins Jr., Alex's biological father, and that he is listed on the birth certificate. As so I guess that gives him some rights to be able to sign this letter of intent. But right now, we wanted to talk more about the recruiting classes, and we have our man Fletcher Proctor from SCORE Atlanta. This is his first time on the Sports Jock Show, so let's welcome him with a round of applause over there to Fletcher. Right. Good morning, Fletcher.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks for the applause. Yeah.
Welcome to the show. Real quick, is there anything about this Alex Collins story that you can enlighten us on that maybe we're missing?
Well, Alex Collins is the recruit. I believe his mother didn't want him going or wanted him to go to Miami instead of going to Arkansas. Finally, his father or his stepfather steps in and kind of eventually signs the letter of intent allowing him to go. But that was a crazy story. Every now and then you kind of hear those stories where a player's father doesn't like the one school or the mother wants him to stay close to home or whatnot. But in fact, there was one in Georgia last year where Josh Harvey Clemens, I believe it was his grandfather, didn't want him to go to Georgia, wanted him to consider Florida for a while, but eventually he relented. And these kids, it's really on them to kind of make their own mistakes if that's what they want to do. It's they're the ones that are going to be going to school for 3, 4, or 5 years. So I think you have to, even if you're the parent, you have to kind of let them do their thing.
Well, Fletch, I am War Eagle.
Okay.
I played at Auburn, just to let you know, update you on that. And probably the most surprising, even to an Auburn guy like myself, is the recruiting class that Auburn was able to get this year, even being with the terrible record and changing coaches. Some rank Auburn's class as 10 or 11 in the country. Can you shed some light on how that's still possible when you have such a bad season and you change head coaches?
Well, I think you did change head coaches, but you kind of kept it in the family a little bit, I guess, is what a lot of the Auburn people that I talked to are saying. You jumped on the Gus bus, and Gus Malzahn, you kind of brought him back home. Of course, the offensive coordinator with Cam Newton helping them to win that national championship a couple years back. And even though you did change coaches, it feels like, I know last year they kind of got away from Malzahn's offense, but a lot of these guys that are there, the quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers, were recruited under Gus Malzahn, kind of overseeing them and for his system. Eventually he moved on to Arkansas State for just one season before coming back. So it doesn't surprise me all that much in terms of the new coach. Now, when he came back as the head man instead of just his offensive coordinator, he certainly put together a stud coaching staff, including Rodney Gardner from the University of Georgia, Ellis Johnson, who spent so many years in South Carolina, also in the Mississippi schools. So bringing him in, making him the defensive coordinator, he put together an incredible staff, totally cleaned house, but the hires he made were the right ones. Rodney Gardner taking him away from Georgia, if anything, brought a few recruits such as Montravius Adams over that I don't think Auburn would have gotten otherwise, because, recruiting is all about relationships. He had a great relationship with the new coach over there at Auburn, Rodney Gardner, and being able to have him come over and really delivering Adams, that was huge for the Auburn Tigers.
Well, Fletch, we're going to go to break. If you can hold on 1 second, talk about Alabama when we come back, and talk about the influence that Robert Ndubuike brother might have had on him going to Ole Miss. And I think the tall lady, she has her son is going where, tall lady?
Tennessee State.
Tennessee State. And we have a Southern Miss grad over here. I don't think they play football there anymore, but we'll let
yeah, we play.
But Fletcher, if you can hold the line, we'll be right back. 888-926-7562. thesportsjock.com. Hit us up. We're you streaming. J-Lo leg is still on the page if you want to get you a little peek of that. We'll be right back.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
The Sports Jock Show is giving you a chance to win and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Jock.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjock.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Jock will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad, plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact, you haven't heard the Sports Jock Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th, so log on, sign up with the Sports Jock Wake Up Call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjock.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Give me a second, I need to get my story straight. My friends are in the bathroom getting higher than the Empire State. My lover, she is waiting for me just across the bar. My seat's been taken by some sunglasses, asking about a scar. And I know
welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. Is that a Grammy winning song right there too? Who is that right there? Fun and who?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's why we pay for the mic so you can talk in it sometime. It's okay.
Stop.
There we go. That's what we're talking about right there.
That's Janelle Monáe? Okay, that's
fun. But we're having fun here on the Sports Jock Show. We was talking about National Signing Day last week. These recruiting classes, once again, the SEC reigned supreme. 11 of the SEC schools in the top 25 in recruiting classes. I did say 11. There's only 14 teams, so 11 of them are in the top 25 classes of recruiting. Probably the most surprising to be ranked so high is Ole Miss. The Ole Miss Rebels are ranked 7th, ahead of Georgia and Florida State and Auburn and Texas A&M, ahead of teams that shined last season. Ole Miss has made a comeback. We're on the line with Fletcher Proctor, Scores Atlanta. Fletcher, why was Ole Miss so successful this season in the recruiting?
Well, I think part of it had to do with, obviously, Robert Nkemdiche, the #1 player in the entire nation. A couple years ago, his older brother, who's actually about 4 inches shorter than he is. Pretty funny if you see them on the football field together. You'd think they were the opposite. But, Denzel Nkemdiche out of Grayson High School, a lot of teams kind of stayed away from him because they didn't know if he was going to qualify academically. Houston Nutt, who at the time was the head coach of Ole Miss, said, you know what, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take a flyer because that's what Houston Nutt did. He used to routinely try to sign 37 kids because he knew probably about 15 of them or so wouldn't make it because of grades or whatnot. But Denzel did end up making it. And Robert Nkemdiche has let it be known throughout his entire recruiting process that family and friends, more so than where he's going in the tradition of the program would be his ultimate influences. It was between Clemson Clemson and Ole Miss. He was going to go to Clemson because there was a time where about 5 of his high school teammates in total were also going to go to Clemson with him. He wanted to kind of go with his friends. In the end, family won out. He wanted to go. His mother, again, where we talk about mother like we did in the last segment, kind of comes into play, but his mom wanted to be able to go to one place on Saturday when she was in the country, watch him play, and that's going to be Ole Miss. And when he kind of jumped on board, so did some of the other big-time prospects, the big offensive linemen. Tunsil, you've also got the cornerback, Connor, who also went out there to him. And it was just a big snowball effect. Factor in the 7-6 record 1 year ago, which is, you mentioned a lot of teams had more success like Georgia, true, but 7-6 at Ole Miss over the last couple of years, that's actually really good for them. So it's kind of a big snowball effect.
We're talking to Fletcher Proctor, the Scores Atlanta. Fletcher, it's the Under Armour game that they're having, this all-star game. Do you think that has a lot to do with a lot of these players connecting and almost creating these like Fab Five type recruiting classes for some of these schools?
Well, I mean, back in the day you had just one, and that was the U.S. Army All-American Bowl, and then Under Armour came along, and then the Semper Fidelis Bowl came along, and it seems like now there's about 5 or 6 national all-star games like this, but there's no question about it. With social media, everybody can kind of tweet back and forth. I can become friends with you on Facebook, and factor in that we can go and we can hang out for about a week, learn from NFL professionals at these Under Armour challenges and Under Armour camps and whatnot. Yeah, I definitely think that becomes more of a Fab Five. These guys are being Pied Pipers with one another, trying to get them to all go to the same place, because I guess we saw it in basketball with LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. You want to team up with your friends and have fun while you're doing your business. So that's what they're doing these days.
Fletcher, good morning. This is Big Kenny. Earlier, we were talking about the high profile of signees' parents. What do you attribute to the newly, I guess the word I'm looking for is amplified presence of parents at these press conferences, how involved they've gotten and how much influence they're exerting over coaches and their children's decisions?
Well, I think parents have been playing a huge influence and a huge role in these players committing to various institutions, universities, colleges for years. We've only recently in the last 5 or 6 years started putting them all on television. And I think, unfortunately, there are some of those parents that like to live vicariously through their kids because they could never get a big-time scholarship to A&M, Texas A&M, or Alabama, or LSU, or Ohio State. They're kind of living vicariously through their kids, which is, you sort of feel sorry for the kids, but at the same time, it's also on the player, on the potential signee to say, no, Mom, no, Dad, let me have my day in the sun, if you will. And I think these parents have, had an influence on the kids for years. We're just only now really seeing it because we didn't have the Under Armour Bowl 10 years ago.
All right. Well, Fletch, if you can hold the line one more time, we're going to go to a quick break. The tall lady is chomping at the bit. She says you wrote a horrible article about her son. I'm going to let her ask you questions about that.
It was very flattering.
It was very flattering. Oh, be nice now because I gave you cake.
Don't start no stuff.
We'll be right back. Never miss a minute of the show. Get show reminders on the phone. See, I had to read that just because. What is get show reminders? We'll be right back.
Get it.
For more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
The Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
The Sports Jock Show is giving you a chance to win and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Jock.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjock.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Jock will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad, plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact, you haven't heard the Sports Jock Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th, so log on, sign up with the Sports Jock wake-up call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjock.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. We're talking about national recruiting classes from last week. Last Wednesday was National Signing Day for 99.9. Alex Collins had to sign his a day later due to parental issues. We're talking to Fletcher Proctor, Score Atlanta. Fletcher, before I let the tall lady beam in on you, the state of Georgia once again got rated for its top talent. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I mean, I attribute the fact that the state of Georgia, as much as people want to say there's a big 3 of California, Texas, and Florida, I would actually go so far as to say as there's a big 4. I would include Georgia with there. If you take a look at the rosters of the SEC programs and really across the country, Georgia has the most big-time recruits per capita of any state in the entire country. There's just too much talent for the University of Georgia, for Georgia Tech to get literally everybody. Now, with this year, a little more of, if you're a University of Georgia fan, a little more frustrating than years past. Of course it was. I think Georgia signed maybe one of the top 13 players in the entire state, and then you watch, you lose out on so many other guys. Like you watch Robert Kondichi head to Ole Miss. You watch Montravius Adams, follow one of your former coaches over to Auburn. You lose out on several other players. I think it was just a perfect storm of top talent leaving the state. I don't think Georgia Bulldog fans should really be upset with Mark Richt for losing out. Would you have liked to have a better showing? Of course you would. But, Paul Johnson at Georgia Tech, he kind of has his own problems to deal with in terms of academics and whatnot. But, yeah, it was a perfect storm of Robert Kondichi wanted to play with his brother, and Adams wanted to, go follow a coach somewhere else. And some of these top players just wanted to go elsewhere.
And really it shows that your coaches, your university, your recruiting coordinator have to be on point, because when you look at this, you realize that Georgia was in the national spotlight bigger than most of these teams ahead of it, and it still didn't have that great a recruiting class as well of a season. So it is about the coaches and the people that are speaking for the university to recruit these athletes.
Good morning.
No question about that.
Good morning, Fletcher.
Hey, how are you?
All right, this is a tall lady. Maybe it might be Big Kenny playing games. No, no. You wrote an article about my son. I was very appreciative. I read it. He was featured in one of your articles. His name is Chris Sanders McCollum, 6'5" wide receiver from Creekside High School.
Yeah.
Chris was I guess he was kind of late to get into the spotlight, but he's had a tremendous ride this past year. I think so far so good. He's all-region first team for football and basketball.
Yeah, he was a two-sport star. I remember watching some great film on him on the basketball court and thought, wow, if he can do that on the football field too, he's really going to be something out there. So,
Yes. I wanted to ask, how much do you believe that media and coverage from high schools play into a lot of the rankings and exposure that some of the kids get?
They certainly do. I mean, it's a matter of the proper programs, the big-time programs in a state of such as Georgia. If you're competing like Robert Condici was as a junior, for a state championship, he's all over everywhere as his team goes undefeated. Of course, eyes are going to turn to him. Whereas another player who's maybe on a smaller in a smaller class, such as a 3A or a 2A or even a single A, doesn't have the exposure, doesn't have the people talking about him. I think it helps if you're in a big metropolis like Atlanta, playing on a team that's ranked in the top 5, playing for a state championship, if you will, because eyes and eyeballs are going to be on you. It helps if you have teammates older than you that are getting, recruited early on. That helps with the media, search engine finding your name more often than other people's. There's so many more factors than just pure talent alone that go into recruiting, which is a shame in some aspects because there's some players that slip below the radar, the late bloomers, the guys that maybe are on a struggling team and don't get in early and kind of have to take, quote unquote, what's left of the scholarships available. But recruiting has gotten earlier and earlier, and if you're a late bloomer, if you're maybe 6'1", but suddenly you grow to 6'5" before your senior season. So many of these big-time classes and big-time schools have already gotten their guys who are tall as a sophomore, and so many factors come into play that some players can kind of slip under the radar. But there's always situations that come along with a coaching change can sometimes lead to more opportunities. It's just a matter of finding the right way and marketing yourself, because sometimes that's what it's all about is self-marketing.
Well, Fletch, we thank you for calling in to the Sports Jock Show, and hopefully we can talk to you more and more as the year goes on. Real quickly, just tell us who is going to be the Robert Condici of 2013.
Well, there's obviously a quarterback in Gainesville High School, led his team to the state championship earlier this year, Deshaun Watson. He's already committed as a sophomore to Clemson, but we'll see if that holds up. And then there's a linebacker named Raquan McMillan down in Liberty County. That guy is for real, to say the least. He's going to be the big-time defensive prospect this year. So McMillan and Watson are two names to watch out for in the state of Georgia.
All right. Fletcher Proctor, Scores Atlanta, thank you very much for calling in and helping us with this national signing. We still have one story to discuss about this signing stuff when we come back from the break. 888-926-7562. Don't miss Wayne Gandy's commentary with the Ocean segment later in the show. I guess I'll be doing an Ocean segment later in the show on thesportsjock.com. We'll be back right after this.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Hello, and welcome to today's lottery drawing. Good luck. And here's today's winning numbers. First one up, it's not yours. Second one, not yours. And another number that's not yours. Okay, this is one number that's yours. It's a 5, but you don't get any money for that. And the final number is not yours.
Yep, so chances are you're not going to hit the lottery anytime soon. Don't get us wrong, the lottery can be fun every now and then. Just please don't rely on it for your future savings. How about this? Brew your own coffee at home instead of buying that latte every day. Brown bag it to work instead of ordering in. Ride your bike instead of buying all that gas. These changes alone can save you thousands a year. Thousands. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feed that piggy bank. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas on how to save. Feedthepig.org. This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Hey, over here.
What?
Right here, on the side of the house.
Who said that?
Look down. I'm right at your feet.
Wait, the basketball?
Yes, the basketball. Right down here, where the kids left me a long time ago. Man, you know how lonely it is being a ball and not being able to bounce or roll?
Excuse me?
Remember when you got me for the kids? You said, now kids, you have no excuse not to go outside and play.
Uh-huh.
Wow. I'll miss flying through the air and hearing the shouts of joy when I swish through the basket. What do you say? Could you give me a little air and remind the kids of how fun I still am?
Okay. Oh, wow. You are flat.
Easy, I'm ticklish. Let's get bouncing.
As Native American parents and caregivers, our encouragement to healthy lifestyles for our kids is helping them get outside and play. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov/Indian Country. Brought to you by USDA, HHS, and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the sports jock, Wayne Gant. Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gant. I don't know about no pros, though.
Yeah, that's well, you know this is the radio version.
This is the radio.
Yeah, as much as we admonish the bad
you can
producers.
say, ho!
Hey!
Hey! Ho!
I got ho, hey.
Hey!
Different area codes.
We'd like to thank Fletcher Proctor for calling in Scores Atlanta, helping us with the recruiting situation of last week. As I said, the SEC dominated the top 25 in recruiting classes. Alabama class ranked number 1, Ohio State 2, Notre Dame 3, Florida 4, Michigan 5, LSU 6, Ole Miss 7, Texas A&M 8, UCLA 9, Florida State 10, Auburn 11, and Georgia was ranked 12. Back to the Alabama being 1. Alabama actually was able to go to the city of Auburn and poach one of their players, which is huge when you can go right to someone's city that already has a program like that. Reuben Foster, the linebacker, who most were considering the number 1 or 2 linebacker in the country. Young gentleman even has an Auburn tattoo.
He's had it removed
on his right forearm.
He and his mother have both had those tattoos removed.
I don't know if you can get a tattoo removed in
They've
a week.
done laser. Well, they've been going back and forth.
It takes like
that.
6 or 8 treatments, but I'm just saying he had an Auburn tattoo.
And now I've never had a tattoo, but I know that getting them removed can be relatively expensive. And so, do you think that Alabama's paying for the removal of the tattoos? I mean, honestly, do you think that do you think that they're paying for the removal, or do you think that it was so valuable that my child go to Alabama that I'm willing to pony up the money, or someone behind the scenes said, "Look, we'll get that removed for you"?
I think that Antonio Langdon, the great cornerback from Alabama, probably sent him a little check. No, I'm making it up. I'm just messing with you, Lane. But I'm quite sure when they decided to make this change, you can't walk around your campus for 4 or 5 years calling yourself a Roll Tide. And they said it was a big tattoo, so I guess you can't just cover it up with a rose either. But I think it's like 6 or 8 treatments it takes over a period of time, because you have to kind of wait till it fades and keep waiting. But his dad, go ahead, Bikini.
Should we be concerned that this mother's allowing her child to be tattooed?
Have you seen
before he gets out of high school? Is that just me?
No, that seems to be the new thing. Yeah. When I watch these college, especially the college basketball games, I'm trying to figure out, how did you get all these tattoos by 19? Like, how did you write your life story?
Right.
By 19. I mean,
went to a high school bowl game, and there were high school students with tattoos on their necks, forearms. I was really, really, really surprised as a mother just watching and thinking, this kid really in high school?
You have to get permission for that. I'd imagine.
Depends on where you
21.
go. Come on now. Depends on where you go.
I think so. You have to at least until you're 18. I'm quite sure to have to get permission.
Depends on where you go.
But I guess they're figuring once I put it on, it ain't like you can make me take it off. It's not like a wig or makeup of any kind. But Reuben Foster's dad, they arrested him last week. the guy that they poached. He, Danny Foster, after being on the run for 16 years from shooting his estranged wife, and even reports say that some fragment may even have hit Ruben. But Danny Foster is finally in prison. That's a long time to be on the run.
What did he show up at? Did he show up at signing day or something? How did they catch him right when his son signs? How coincidental is that?
They arrested him out in California, so they're sending him back to Alabama to be prosecuted. So 16 years on the run. You sign your letter, your dad is going to jail. The mom said she's relieved after all this time. I'm quite sure she was.
Does some of that smack of publicity stunt to you? I mean, really, does that smack? Oh, this is going to be a great human interest story. This man shot his estranged wife, and some of it grazed the son, who's now this #1 highly touted football recruit, and he's going to the #1 championship school. And what a great story of overcoming and lifting yourself up by your bootstraps. I mean, because 16 years on the run, obviously this dude wasn't a high priority.
Well, people don't pursue folks out of state. They don't pursue that far out of state. Lucky for you. But
she threw that in quick.
but no, I really personally, I think that maybe just for the comfort of their player, they may have pressed people to follow some leads and to get some things done. Maybe his alumni folks or some other people may have pressured someone into saying, well, we've heard that he's in this area. We've heard that we would like for this boy to be comfortable when he comes here. His mother not concerned about him, taking a shot now or something like that. And it does make for a great story. But I think, too, that this relieved a lot of pressure. And I think that that exposure and that spotlight also gives an opportunity to close a lot of things that people have wide open. Because somebody's looking for him to ask him the story. And maybe that was it. Somebody was looking for him to ask the story. He said, my son got recruited. My son is this. My son is that. And they say, your son is who? And, and somebody says, well, aren't they looking for you?
Yeah,
and maybe that's it.
Anita Page, she said, I was relieved and sad all at the same time. I was relieved because he got caught, but I was sad because some of the pain and memories that our kids will have to go through about this. She did say that she had told Ruben at age 5 about what happened. So he wasn't in the dark about his father at all, Danny Foster being arrested. And I'm quite sure he was somewhere bragging that his son was in the national spotlight.
I almost killed him one time, but he in the national spotlight now. I almost killed his mama and him one time.
She look good now. She look good. She recovered well.
But I inspired him is what I did.
We're going to go to break, and we come back. We're going to talk to our main man, Doug Fireball Turnbull, NASCAR. Get your car ready. We'll be right back.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Honey, I'm home. I've got a surprise for you.
Get that filthy, disgusting tire out of my living room. You're on my favorite rug.
Calm down. You're going to love this.
What? The goldfish roll.
I won't run over them. Relax.
You roll that tire right back out of here.
Relax. It's all part of my master plan to save us money.
This is not going to be our coffee table. Don't even think about putting a piece of glass on top.
No, honey. This is a reminder to keep our tires properly inflated so we can save money on gas.
Can't we just tie a string around our fingers?
Sweetie, properly inflated tires could save us more money at the pump than a week's worth of gas.
You're getting tire tracks on my love seat.
Exactly. To remind us that we love saving gas with properly inflated tires.
What's wrong with the sticky note on the dashboard?
Discover smarter ways to save hundreds of dollars on gas and help the environment, too, at the Alliance to Save Energy's website, drivesmarterchallenge.org.
Hey, let's put the sticky note on the tire.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Smart, father of a child who was abducted.
I'm John Walsh. Like Ed, I also know the terror of having a child who was kidnapped. But now we have wonderful technology to aid in this battle.
It's called the Amber Alert. It's an early notification system to the public when every second counts.
Amber Alert is a partnership. We want to thank you, the public, broadcasters, transportation, and law enforcement. Amber Alert really works.
And now, back to the sports jock, Wayne Gandy.
Enough is enough! I have had it!
Why so serious?
And we hold the world ransom for... Excuse me while I whip this out.
Show me that. Live from the Armada FM studios in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. Big Kenny, how can they get that wake-up call from the Sports Jock next week? If we can get your mic to working.
There we go. I want to remind everybody to sign up for the wake-up call from the Sports Jock Show and automatically register to win a free iPad. Yes, that's right, a free iPad from the Sports Jock Show. All you got to do is go to sportsjock.com and sign up for the wake-up call, or you could check us out on the sportsjock.com or Sports Jock app for iPhones and Android. Real quick, just go ahead and download that.
I'm going to repackage my iPad and give it to you. No, it's a free.
And he's going to keep the brand new one because they have a brand new one to give away. It's not that, you know.
As we went to break, we got a call on the line. Mike, are you there? Want to talk about Alex Collins? Mike, are you there? We're trying to get Mike on the line. I guess he's gone.
Mike, like one of them recruits, he was committed. he was committed to broadcasting with the Sports Jock Show, and now
then he changed his mind.
Changed his mind. And he's broadcasting with another show now.
Well, here's a story. Once again, it's funny how you can just continue to talk about this recruiting thing. Kansas State recruit, kid was supposed to go to Kansas State, was arrested. Jamon Boyd, for armed robbery 2 days before he was supposed to sign his letter of intent. One of the best recruits out of Missouri, headed to Kansas State. I guess he could not make it to National Signing Day. Him and a bunch of his friends robbed an apartment. There was about 4 or 5 people in the apartment. They even pistol whipped. Now that is funny. Some of
I can't stand y'all.
Even pistol whipped some of the people in the Kansas City apartment, took their wallets, cell phones, some electronic devices.
So that was not just a robbery. That was a strong-arm robbery. Strong-arm robbery with unlawful entry, with menacing. There was some kidnapping involved.
And you can find him at the Sports Jock Show.
I'm just saying there was some kidnapping involved from all of what you just explained. Those are a lot of charges that they're facing, federal charges.
Yes, they broke into the apartment in Kansas City. It was him and 5 other of his friends.
Right.
They were reporting that there's 4 or 5 people in the apartment at the time.
So that's unlawful entry, breaking in, 4 or 5 people that they're holding at gunpoint, preventing them from moving freely. That's kidnapping.
Okay, we got
that's
kidnapping
a kidnapping
on it.
charge, right?
They slapped him around with the pistol.
That's assault with a deadly weapon and menacing because they were threatening people.
And they were threatening. Ann Boyd was just recently arrested back in November for weed possession.
Okay, so he's already on probation, and that was aggravated assault as well.
The kicker is he has resisted arrest, they had to taser him.
Just when we were looking for the punchline, he gets tasered. Now, what were they recruiting him for? Football?
And does he not fit a pro football player?
Gosh.
This dude he's going straight to the NFL from court. He's going to leave the courtroom and go straight to play for the Cowboys.
And they had to taser him twice.
Twice. Ooh, yeah. So he got a little steel in him. He can, you know what I'm saying? He could take a hit and keep. Now, what position does he play?
They said he was a cornerback, wide receiver type guy. So obviously,
be hard to cover him.
So I guess he played different positions at the school, but he was one of the top recruits in Missouri. And there you go, another recruiting.
Wow, man, what is it, Sports Jock? You were a guy who was a young high school dude full of testosterone, about to go off and play college football. And what prevented you from feeling like, you know what, I'm willing to throw all that away?
I think the way that, not just the parenting, but they didn't sell you as though, you know, like getting a scholarship was something great, but it wasn't sold in a way that I had arrived.
Right.
You know, and now you take a Robert Nkemdiche. They've been saying his name for the last 18 months as though he is Lawrence Taylor.
Right.
You would have thought this, are we talking about a high school player or are we talking about a guy in the NFL? You've heard his name, especially in the state of Georgia, just as much as you've heard Matt Ryan.
Right.
So with that kind of fanfare, it kind of makes kids think that the line of rules is blurry. And then you have these kids, just like Fletcher said, with this social media and this fanfare. And what do people want to do when they get fanfare? They want to look the part. Now I want to look like I am that guy that everybody's talking about. So I'm going to get the tattoos. I'm going to get the clothes. And sometimes, you know, we don't necessarily have the money. So I'm going to go do some things, whether it's selling marijuana or robbing, obviously, to look the part as well, because that's what people like to do. And I think along with the soft way that we want these kids to even be coached, when you're coached hard or anything, you see the sacrifice. So it becomes a lot. You don't want to lose that. When you have to go through trials and tribulations of something and you know you worked hard, when you know you worked 80 hours a week to save up for a car, you usually be out there waxing that car.
Right. You take better care of it.
You take better care.
I think this is a cautionary tale. So many of these kids are trying to look the part or commit some of these crimes so that they can obtain some of the basic needs, you know, clothes and things like that, to, I guess, fit into what it is they see their new role as.
Right.
And so they're going out committing these crimes. It's because they're preventing schools from paying these kids. Let the alumni kick some money to them every day.
We
do a
have
little payoff. Where's the money
real
bag?
quick, I think we have Mike on the line. Mike, are you there? Mike
refuses. Oh,
there he is. Real quickly, Mike, we have about 2 minutes left before we go to break. You had a comment about Alex Collins.
Yes. A question, actually.
Okay.
Being that you were, like yourself, being highly recruited coming out of Florida. Okay, now, with this guy, he was being recruited by Miami the whole time, and then on Sports South, that Monday leading up to signing day, he didn't tell anyone he was going to choose. And so that's why his mom had the reaction that she had, because he didn't let anybody know. He even said it on this program. Being that you was a highly recruited guy coming out of Florida, how much did you involve your parents in your decision to go to college? And being that, how do you feel about that, if he did or didn't? And then her reaction the way she has.
I didn't involve my dad at all. Because I didn't really know, does he have a middle name or not, but no. But I didn't involve my dad at all. I can be honest about that. My mom went on the recruiting trips with me. She gave me her input from, you know, not trying to make the decision for me. And she never tried to act like she was going to school with me. She just enjoyed the recruiting trip and the food they were serving. I had to pull her away from the food bar. She was like, you know, like we had never ate before. So that was her memory of going on those trips. She's still talking about them steaks and shrimp that Auburn had. But she just did it from trying to make sure that I was asking the right questions, but she was never dealing with me in a way of trying to tell me where I had to go or ever putting any kind of guilt of me like I needed to stay close by home. She never put that on me, so I never felt that pressure that I have to shoulder my parents or that I need to go somewhere so I can get her $1. It was like, get out my house. She had already told me that for the first 2 decades of life. You got about 6 months after graduation to get out of my house. But I think a lot of these parents are putting a lot of stress on these kids that they don't need. And like I said, the kid is going to college, not you. We'll be back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
The Sports Jock Show is giving you a chance to win and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Jock.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjock.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Jock will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad, plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact, you haven't heard the Sports Jock Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th, so log on, sign up with the Sports Jock wake-up call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjock.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
Sassy! Sassy!
This week's episode, Rattlesnake at the Pond.
Oh, Johnny, skipping rocks at the pond sure is fun. Hey, look, a moving stick. That ain't a stick. That's a rattlesnake. Sassy, we're in danger. Good idea, Sassy. Go get Mr. Gunderson. You will in a second, but first you'd like to tell us something we may not know about animal shelters in the United States? It's getting close, Sassy! Approximately 8 million pets enter shelters each year? The majority of which are in shelters because of owner-related issues that the animals have no control over? Sassy the rattlesnake! Save us, Sassy! What, Sassy? You wish you were videotaping this? Sassy!
Sassy is brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org. Remember, adopt.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. We have one of our favorite people on the line. I told you to get your cars gassed up and ready. Our man Doug Fireball Turnbull is about to hit the mic. Good morning to you, Fireball.
Hey, good morning to you. How you guys hanging over there?
We doing pretty good this morning, I think. They bought me a cake for my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday. I didn't realize it was your birthday.
Yeah, yesterday we celebrated. I tried to get some Holy Spirit in them. I think it worked for about an hour.
Is that the kind of spirits it was? Okay.
With Fireball, we have Daytona 500 coming up. But before we talk about that, tell us about this 2013 Hall of Fame class. I know out of the 5 names for young tender like me, just learning about NASCAR, the name that pops out is Rusty Wallace. But give us some information, not just about Rusty, but the other members that are going in this class for 2013.
Yeah, absolutely. And forgive me, I'm going to sit here and rattle them off. Hope I don't forget one. But what we have first off is like you mentioned, the 1989 Cup champion. And one of his first years of eligibility, Rusty Wallace, making the cut. And he's now, I think he's the last driver that had more than 50 wins in his career. to make the Hall of Fame. So they've taken care of all the other ones they had. So you had Rusty Wallace, who had a very good, solid career, never won the Daytona 500. Then you had a guy that, listen, most NASCAR fans haven't heard of, but he was a pioneer in the early days of the sport. He was one of the first driver, I think, to win, one of the first drivers to win 2 championships. He was big in the 50s. His name is Herb Thomas. Herb Thomas won. He has the highest winning percentage in NASCAR history. He won over 20% of the races in which he competed. He won 48 races and only raced 200 and something races. If that tells you how great that is. And I know in baseball and football we talk about winning percentages. We think about having a couple dozen drivers in a race car field back then, or these days 43. You don't win but a couple of times a year usually if you're good. And he won 48 times in just a short span. So you have Herb Thomas, you have Cotton Owens, and I know you guys still go Cotton too. His name was Cotton, but Cotton Owens, and I forget his real name. I'm blanking on his real name, but Cotton Owens. What's that?
He raced in the first stock car.
Exactly. Yeah.
When people used to push the cars.
Yeah, he was in Ben-Hur or something like that. No, but Cotton Owens, it's really great that he made the Hall of Fame because he actually just died right after he found out about the nomination. His wife had died about a year before, and so it wasn't too long after they've been married so long that he died as well. And Cotton Owens, he won a handful of races as a driver. He felt like he did all he needed to do in racing a type of race cars just under NASCAR called modifieds back then, and then he raced in NASCAR. So then he owned race cars and won championships, most notably with David Pearson, a Hall of Famer who was in the first class of the NASCAR Hall of Fame. So there's Cotton Owens, Buck Baker, another driver just like Cotton Owens and Herb Thomas, who wrestled around tracks in the 1950s, won a bunch of races, won a couple of championships. His son, Buddy Baker, also won about 20 or so races in his career and was a great driver in his own right. But Buck Baker, a true hardcore race car driver, okay? I mean, he was rough and tumble. You wouldn't, as big as you are, Wayne, I don't think you'd want to run into Buck Baker. He's one of those guys who just was a tough guy for the old days of NASCAR. And the last inductee into the 2013 Hall of Fame NASCAR class is Leonard Wood, who, along with his brother Glenn Wood, they formed the Wood Brothers. Wood Brothers Racing is a team that's still around these days, NASCAR's oldest race team, except for maybe the Petty Enterprises. And Leonard Wood is just a master mechanic and a longtime owner in the sport. They've won a bunch of races and championships and so forth. So that's your 2013 Hall of Fame class.
Well, you forgot one member that they're taking in, Rusty Wallace.
I started with Rusty, but yeah.
No. Rusty Wallace, his car. They're taking the car as well. As I read, Midnight. Rusty won 55 races, and 13 was in a car. Do you know anything about Midnight?
Yeah, well, back in right when he first moved to Penske Racing, he won his championship at a different team at Ray-Mac Blue Max Racing. But he won a lot of races in the early 1990s, and that black number 2 Miller, it wasn't Miller Lite then, it was just Miller Ford, and then so that they ended up nicknaming it Midnight because it was black. But every driver, they bring in their car. They have some sort of car that's either restored or an actual race car from that driver. So if you go to the Hall of Fame, and you should go, it's great. It's really cool. Go to the Hall of Fame. You'll see all the different race cars that belong to the different drivers. It's pretty neat.
Okay. Car called Midnight. If it wasn't 2013, I would think that was racist, but
I know a stripper named Midnight, so I guess it's okay.
I have a feeling Rusty Wallace probably knew a stripper named Midnight. Maybe it's the same one. All right.
Well, Fireball, the Daytona 500 is upon us. First of all, is there any modifications to the track? Anything, new rules for the 500 other than the new Gen 6 car?
Yeah, racetrack is the same. The format for the Daytona 500 is the same. I mean, everything is the same as far as the race. The difference will be how the racing plays out, and how people are able to draft, how people are. It's not going to be the same as we saw before. We had a 2-car tandem draft out there in the last couple of years. It's going to be big packs of race cars, and they're going to be going extremely fast as well. So that's going to be probably the biggest difference. And qualifying for the races will be different now. Technically only 6 drivers are locked into the field, the top 6 in owners' points, whereas it had been the top 35 before. But that's really not going to change. I actually am at CNN Center right now as we speak. I just left the atrium at CNN Center. NASCAR driver Clint Bowyer finished second in points last year, and NASCAR president Mike Hilton were in there. And I was actually late calling the show because I was interviewing Mike Hilton while you guys were calling me. So I talked to Clint about the new qualifying procedure, and he actually said that that's really not going to change too much his mentality. This team's not worried about it, but going into qualifying, you know now that if a few other people have a bad day, if you're not in the top 6 in points and there's a few other guys that are, close to you in points that have bad days, you could get bumped out of a race. And you don't want to do that with a multi-million-dollar sponsor.
Fireball, real quick before we go to break, I know last year they incorporated some rules like no more cell phones in the cars. When they incorporate a rule like that, when they institute that, how do they enforce it? Do they get extra officials to oversee that kind of thing, or do they expand the duties of the officials already in the...
Well, with the cell phone thing, they sort of didn't completely do that until later in the year. They chose not to enforce it when Brad Keselowski pulled his cell phone out during a red flag when the cars were stopped. He wasn't driving, and took a picture of the jet dryer fire in the Daytona 500. I think what they did is they decided to lump cell phones in with a rule that says you're not allowed to have certain electronic devices in the car, because teams could use cell phones or something that looked like a cell phone to rig it up and affect the performance of the race car or give them an unfair advantage. And that's why they really didn't want to do it. Drivers are not going to pull their phones out and drive and take pictures of each other while they're racing. They're a little busy, so they're not, that's not really the point of the rule. As far as enforcement, I don't know exactly, but I do know that if a driver, if they get caught with one, they're going to get fined. If they tweet out a picture like Keselowski did later on in the season, I believe at Richmond, in the fall Richmond race, NASCAR then decided, we don't like that we let him do that anymore, so we're going to go ahead and slap him on the wrist and make him pay a fine. And I will tell you this, that one of the lower series of NASCAR, the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East, which races right here in Georgia sometimes, the Pro Series East, they actually told their drivers in the drivers' meeting to be sure and not have a cell phone, because the week before one driver did and took a picture of a fight, and they just decided with these younger drivers they didn't want it at all, and eventually that's filtered up to the top.
Well, Fireball, we thank you for calling into the Sports Jock Show. We'll let you get back to your heavy hitters since you name-dropping Clint Warrior.
Hey, I just thought you'd want to know. Breaking NASCAR news right here on the show, man. Live in person. What can I say?
I appreciate it. Name drop all you want. Thank you, Fireball. We'll talk to you next Monday.
You got it. Thank you.
We'll be right back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this quick break.
Don't go away. More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy is coming up next.
Honey, I'm home. I've got a surprise for you.
Get that filthy, disgusting tire out of my living room. You're on my favorite rug.
Calm down. You're gonna love this.
What? Whoa. The goldfish bowl.
I won't run over them. Relax.
You roll that tire right back out of here.
Relax. It's all part of my master plan to save us money.
This is not going to be our coffee table. Don't even think about putting a piece of glass on top.
No, honey. This is a reminder to keep our tires properly inflated so we can save money on gas.
Can't we just tie a string around our fingers?
Sweetie, properly inflated tires could save us more money at the pump than a week's worth of gas.
You're getting tire tracks on my love seat.
Exactly. To remind us that we love saving gas with properly inflated tires.
What's wrong with the sticky note on the dashboard?
Discover smarter ways to save hundreds of dollars on gas and help the environment, too, at the Alliance to Save Energy's website, drivesmarterchallenge.org.
Hey, let's put the sticky note on the tire.
Hi, we're talking to real smokers about quitting. Tell me when you smoke and why you smoke.
Eat, cigarette, kids, cigarette, dinner, another cigarette.
One on my way to lunch, one after lunch.
And another cigarette, and another cigarette.
Have you tried to quit?
Yes. I become angry.
It ain't that easy. You can't just quit cold turkey. I tried.
What would you do different?
Actually having a plan and thinking it through.
You have to relearn how to live your life without a cigarette in your hand.
With the right plan, you can quit smoking. Free at becomeanx.org. X, a new way to think about quitting. Brought to you by X and the Ad Council.
I'm Ed Smart, father of a child who was abducted.
I'm John Walsh. Like Ed, I also know the terror of having a child who was kidnapped. But now we have wonderful technology to aid in this battle.
It's called the Amber Alert. It's an early notification system to the public when every second counts.
Amber Alert is a partnership. We want to thank you, the public, broadcasters, transportation, and law enforcement. Amber Alert really works.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
Brittany, Rocker,
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock Wayne Gandy. Big Kenny, tall lady. There's always something on the Sports Jock Show. The New York Times has recently profiled college basketball analyst Jay Williams. That would be the Jay Williams that used to play point guard at Duke. The young man who had a motorcycle accident early in his career and basically never made it back to the NBA. Jay Williams was the first round pick of the Bulls back in 2002. During this profile, as we have come to understand in this new society, especially of social media, snitching went on in this interview. Jay Williams went on to tell the New York Times that he had suicidal thoughts after the motorcycle accident derailed his NBA career. He went on to also snitch on some of his former Bulls teammates, saying that his rookie season, he was very shocked. He didn't know how to handle it at first, that his teammates were smoking marijuana before the game. This is some information as an athlete myself. I think that Jay could keep to himself, but Big Kenny, tall lady, he acts like he's telling me something I didn't know.
Well, maybe
this isn't like some new information. I figured Rasheed Wallace smoked on him some Keisha every game. So, are you surprised, Big Kenny, that some of your hometown Bulls smoked a little weed before games?
I don't care who's snitching, so don't tell me who telling. I'm just saying. Listen, this is what I never understand is how all of this outrage and being appalled and being amazed and not knowing what to do only presents itself years after you aren't relevant anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's never like this dude never came out of the locker room like, hey, can somebody stop this weed smoking? I mean, as long as he was getting checks and everything was fine,
everything was great.
He was rolling along. But now, all of a sudden, they do a little profile on you, and maybe you feel like you're ready to pull a Corinne Steffens and drop a tell-all book. and now here you are with they smoked weed. And it's not that doesn't seem like the kind of information that would make people go, oh, I can't believe that. If they smoked weed with aliens, that's news. But just that some professional athletes were smoking weed, nobody got shot, nobody's mama got slapped.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the new era. I mean, who cares about that? You can slap your mama.
And they won about 4 or 5 championships. So maybe everybody ought to hit the pipe every now and then and get a little weed in their system for the game.
Well, tall lady, you will like this part. Jay went on, did a little more snitching to say that some of the players, even during the game, would have the ball boys run over and solicit women in the stands. Have you ever had someone at a game, give you the eye to come over, or any, performer?
It's happened at a concert.
Oh, okay. OJ's concert.
No, it
was at a Paul Anka show.
That's not funny. There was a hip hop concert in the 80s.
Okay.
And actually I was invited on stage, which I declined that part, but
you didn't tell me what concert.
I will not tell. Stop snitching. I'll tell everything.
I didn't ask you, did you go to the hotel with
No,
me?
I didn't. None of that. But it was a concert with a lot of people that were very prominent during that time. It was, let's see, there were several artists on that. Maybe I should,
Okay, Kenny, here we go again.
Here we go again with the.
Look. At this point in their career, I'm not trying to derail mine. What about that? What about that, shouty? But the thing,
falling off that far.
That's right. So my thing with this guy though, this young man, is the fact that his career was killed or You know, maybe he's trying to murder someone else's career because he's bitter. Because to me, that just seems like something that someone who is possibly bitter well after the fact, still holding on to some stuff, and they want to deal with this in their own way. You're not saying anything that you're saying needs to be stopped, or you know, was he offering some help for people or something like that? Was he saying that it was a problem? I mean, it just depends on the manner that he was discussing it, but it sounds as if someone is bitter.
Yes. Listen. And this is this age of say something controversial so I can get some notoriety, like Big Kenny was alluding to. Real quick, some of the teammates, which they, you know, some of these guys, I'm quite sure we feel fall in the parameters of smoking weed and hollering at women on the bench. Jalen Rose. Oh, no. Really? Tyson Chandler.
No, not Tyson Chandler. He smoked weed? What a pillar of the community he's been up until we found this out.
Who else is on here? Jamal Crawford.
Oh, another.
I can't believe Jamal
Another
Crawford.
salt of the earth kind of guy.
Eddie Curry, Roger Mason, Danielle Marshall. Did Danielle Marshall ever even score in the league? But some of these guys.
Where is Rasheed Wallace, though? Where is he?
He's with the Knicks. You know, he
holla
made a
at
comeback.
me, Rasheed. Holla at the girl.
I think he's been injured, but
he's still stuck in the locker room smoking out. He don't even know it's halftime. Like, the game? We playing? Let's go.
Come on, Jay Williams. Keep this stuff to yourself. Go ahead on and date your little ESPN Teresa Thompson and lead these
punch
boys
yourself
along.
in the face.
Over and over and over again, eh?
We'll be right back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
The Sports Jock Show is giving you a chance to win, and win big.
We're giving away an Apple iPad.
Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come down to the studio and enjoy a live show. And all you've got to do is wake up with a Sports Jock.
Good morning. It's Monday. We have a great show for you today.
Visit thesportsjock.com and click on the Remind Me app. Each Monday, the Sports Jock will call you to remind you to listen to the show.
Every time you pick up the phone,
your number is entered into a drawing to win the free iPad. One lucky winner will win the iPad. Plus an invite for you and 3 of your friends to come and sit in on a live show. Because it's a well-known fact, you haven't heard the Sports Jock Show until you've seen it live. We'll announce the winner March 4th, so log on, sign up for the Sports Jock wake-up call, download the app, and win an iPad. Go to thesportsjock.com and click on Remind Me. Good luck from the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text. Oh, there's another one. Wow. Busy me. So, anyway...
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. My friends keep commenting on my comment. Oh, there's another one. So many comments on my comment.
Oh, I can't wait to watch TV tonight. Playoffs!
Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Pew, pew. Wait, Mom, what? Huh?
What? Hold
What'd you say? Wait a second, what?
This weekend, unplug. Take your family to the forest. There's nothing in the world like experiencing nature firsthand. Trees, paths, bluebirds, streams. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
And now, back to the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy.
What up, it's your player partner 2 Chainz, and you already know what I need you to do. Listen to the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy. True.
Yeah, I'm different. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing. Pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing.
Welcome back to the Sports Jock Show. I'm the Sports Jock, Wayne Gandy. As we went to break, we were talking about snitching Jay Williams. Just telling all one thing I did forget, which will shock you. Now, this is shocking. He said after a loss on the plane, some of the guys were gambling in the back. I mean,
oh my God!
Is that not amazing news?
It wasn't Pete Rose type gambling.
Athletes are actually
multi-million-dollar athletes with wager money. Oh my goodness!
Were they shooting crabs are playing spades. Which one?
Well, he said they were playing dice in the back of the plane for money. And I'm like, guys, we just lost by 30 tonight, and we have a game tomorrow. The word I want to use right there would get you through.
Would rhyme with snitch. It would rhyme with snitching.
But y'all felt me on what that sounded like.
I'm beginning to think that his motorcycle accident was on purpose. Somebody cut the brake cables or something just to get this dude off the bus. He whines too much. Get him out of here.
Athletes gambling, man, we've never heard that before. That is crazy.
Now, how long has it been since he played?
He hasn't played in like, I want to say about 10. He only played like 2 years.
And see,
then
that's
he had
what
that
I'm saying.
Motorcycle accident.
Maybe 10 years ago, that was bad behavior for an athlete.
Really?
But we live in a time of flipping a car and murdering a girlfriend and slapping a mother and, going to jail multiple times. Even college athletes are in rehab now.
And we've heard about the athletes that have gone broke gambling.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, even the college dudes are in rehab. So let go of it, man. Come up with some more salacious.
Yeah, he needed something else. I know the guy that wrote that article is like, dang.
It sounded way better in my head.
Yeah.
It sounded way more exciting in my laptop.
And Kevin Garnett news, he was heard during the game last night against the Nuggets. This will shock you as well. He blocked the shot of Kenneth Faried, and he told Faried to get that SHI and the other letter.
P, a ship.
Out of here.
Cruise ship out of here.
UN.
Nigerian? Get that shoe out of here, you Nigerian.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like Kevin Garnett. That sounded real soft of Kevin Garnett.
Yeah, I was about to say he's mellowing in his twilight years.
If you ever really want to hear it live, just go to a Hawk game. And he does it for about 40 minutes. It's just, I don't know anyone that he doesn't curse out during his tirades. And he's always done this. He's very well spoken off the court. Beautiful. He does beautiful things in the community. But you always see him using this kind of verbiage. I think y'all need to bring me something new and refreshing. Kevin Garnett using explicit language.
Why is that news?
Why would that even register?
Right. Why is that news?
As news.
But Kevin Garnett using explicit language while choking LeBron's mom. That's news. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Garnett using explicit language while robbing a bank. That is news. But he blocked the shot and said, "Get that out of here," and cursed the dude. Is a regular work day.
It's a regular work day for Kevin Garnett. Here in Atlanta, with the trade deadline closing in, February 21st is the trade deadline. Josh Smith, the forward for the Hawks, is in demand. There's a couple of teams, the Brooklyn Nets, are trying to trade for Josh, and the Detroit Pistons have been rumored to try to be getting Josh. As some of you may know, Josh's contract is up at the end of this season. He's looking for a max deal. Max deal for him with the Hawks would be like 5 years, $90 million. Other teams can offer him like 4 years, $70 million. I think Josh, his biggest problem is still Joe Johnson. Meaning that since they just got through with that Joe Johnson max contract that nobody liked.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think they're going to give you one. I think the next max contract is going to be a true person they feel is legitimately, with no question, that kind of guy, because they just, they had to trade Joe because they didn't feel like his production warranted the kind of money. And for most of us know, Joe has been, in the top 5 or 6 players and getting paid for the last 5-6 years.
Right.
Brought no championships. If you go to most Hawks games, it's half capacity. So I think that hurt Josh. He couldn't sneak in like, I'm gonna sneak on him and get me one. Somebody already beat him to the punch. Tall lady you had.
Oh, yes. Do you think that Joe Johnson is going, I just left that dude in Atlanta. Please don't bring him here. I just got away from him.
So
Please
you're saying I just left that Kevin Garnett dude.
Yes. In
that
Atlanta,
Nigerian.
Why would you do this to me? I just got away from him and all whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I don't know anything of their relationships or anything like that. But it's just that okay, yeah, I know there's an undertone that has not been very positive between the two.
Well, I don't think that they had a bad relationship.
But it's like I'm here. I'm doing my thing. That situation and that person is there. Not that players won't play on the same teams in different cities, but I just think that this is Joe's chance to kind of still be quiet and be in the spotlight.
Well, he needs to start doing a little more for the Nets, yes. Who are not doing. I think it's good. Well, they were great at the beginning of the season. They fell off now, but I'm quite sure Josh will be moved. He's rumored to be headed too many places. Hopefully, as a Hawk season ticket holder, we can get somebody in return.
Somebody.
Somebody will name.
Go get Joe Barry Carroll out of retirement or something. Get somebody.
Sports Jock, if they don't get somebody you like, you can give me your season tickets.
No,
what about that?
It's a year-to-year basis. It's not like a 10-year contract.
Dang.
Come April, I can say no. We'll be back with more of the Sports Jock Show right after this.
Log into your Skype account and add the Sports Jock to your friends list. Check us out on Skype now at thesportsjock.com.
More of the Sports Jock Show with Wayne Gandy coming up next.
Hey, over here.
What?
Right here in the back.
Where?
Over by the fence.
You? The bike?
Yeah, the bike. Right in the grass where the kids left me a while ago. You know how lonely it is being left day after day, not being able to cruise the reservation?
Pardon me?
Remember when you got me for the kids? You told them, "No, you kids go have fun. Enjoy the outdoors and